Hi guys, this is Missy Cook with Lansing Hoops, and today I'm going to show you a trick that has eluded me for years. The only name I've ever heard it referred to as is a behind the back ghosting isolation, and it looks like this. Okay, so today I'm going to break this down for you, and I am going to cover a couple of questions that made it difficult for me to understand, and I think it might help you. So I will show you with both directions today, so you can see what this looks like from both sides. But what we're going to do is start with the hoop behind us with our thumbs together like this. So we put the hoop behind us and our thumbs are together. Okay, so what we want to do is move the hoop in a forward momentum in the same way that a weave goes around your body. So when we do a weave like this, you're coming to this side of your hip and then to this side of the hip. And that's kind of the same concept that this behind the back isolation works. When we do this, we're gonna bring the hoop to our hip. And the way we do that is when the hoop is behind us like this, with the opposite hand of the hoop. So if I'm using my right hip, my left hand drives the hoop. And if I'm using my left hip, then my right hand drives the hoop. So what we're gonna do is, if you want to remove your ghosting hand for now, you can, because you don't really need that up here. You're going to hold the hoop, and with your thumb side, you're going to drive the hoop toward your hip, here. And then, just like in a standard isolation, when you can't go any further, then you're either gonna have to flip your hand over or change the position of the hoop. So what happens is, as the hoop comes up and over my hip, the front becomes the back. Right now, this part of the hoop is touching me, and as I drive it forward, now that part of the hoop is behind me. So from here, we come forward. The ghosting movement that gets a little confusing with this trick is when people add turning in a circle, and it looks like this. We're gonna break the whole trick down first before we move in a circle. So with your thumb hand, drive that hoop toward your opposite hip. And now we're gonna add our ghosting hand. So with thumbs together, our thumb drives forward. My ghosting hand just moves with the movement of the hoop. I don't really even have to move that arm that much. I'm just kind of doing this. My driving hand does the work. And when I get to the back, my fingers are now together in the back. So to go in reverse, from here, thumbs together, hoop goes to the opposite hip and down, and then back together. And now our pinkies are together, and this will be the second half of the move. So our opposite hand will still drive the hoop, but it will be the other hand now. So what I mean is, when our thumbs were together and we drove it over our hip, we brought it here. Now with our pinkies together, the pinky side is going to drive the hoop, but we still want it to go up and over the hip. So on the first part, it goes up and down. So I'm going to start here, comes up, down over my hip. This side goes opposite. It's going to go up and then back down. So with pinkies together, your opposite hand, so this hand and this hip, the hoop drives up and then back down. With my ghosting hand, it goes up and now it comes back down. And the same concept applies as before, where the front becomes the back. So to see the whole thing without feet from this angle, without moving, my thumb drives it forward, and then behind me, the front becomes the back. And now the other side, my pinky drives it forward, and the front becomes the back again. So if I turn around, with my driving hand, the hoop comes forward, and with pinkies together, now my pinky is driving up and down, the front becomes the back. Now we're going to do it with the other side. So before, my left hand was driving with my thumb. Now my right hand is going to. So it comes forward here, pinkies together, and now my pinky will drive up and backwards. From this direction, thumbs are together, up and down. Okay, so now you have the move. All we're gonna do is add the feet spinning in the direction that we start, and that's going to add part of the illusion. So what your goal is to try to turn all the way in a circle 360 degrees in 2 pivots. So the first pivot is when we bring our thumb forward over the hip, we turn backwards. And from here, when our pinky drives backwards, we're going to step backwards the second half of the circle. So if I start this way, we step and isolation, and then step and isolation. Okay, so we're going to do it a few times just so you can get the movement. Here, here, and the other direction. All right, so remember on this trick, each time you do half of a rotation, your thumbs and your pinkies are switching. First, we're going to start thumbs together, and then they should always end with your pinkies together, front facing back. If you start with your pinkies, that's okay too. Remember, pinkies go backwards, thumbs go forwards. Pinkies go backwards, thumbs go forwards, and the front always becomes the back. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below, or check me out, Missy at LansingHoops.com. Talk to you soon.